Hey everybody, it's Erin and welcome back to Style So Me. I have been tagged in the Seamstress Tag, and so I'm going to be answering those questions today. I was tagged by Josie of Pink Chocolate Break, and I have put her YouTube channel link in the description box for you to check her out. She's an amazing seamstress. So I'm always here for a good Q&A, so I'm really excited to dive into these questions. I'm Erin. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas, and I love to sew. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I have a full-time job. I have a lot of different interests, but sewing is my number one thing. So I started sewing because I was pregnant and I was too cheap to buy maternity clothes. So during my pregnancy, I gained a lot of weight very quickly. And before I was out of the first trimester, I was already wearing maternity clothes. And so I saw how expensive maternity clothes were. And I was like, I don't want to spend this much money on clothes that I'm just going to wear for less than a year. You know, what can I do? I had been seeing Mimi G through and through my Facebook feed. I never clicked on it, so I never knew what it was. And so finally one day I was scrolling through Facebook and I finally clicked on her post. And then when I realized that she sewed and made her clothes, I was like, people sew and it can look like that? Sign me up. So my plan was just to make, you know, one or two dresses just to get me through my pregnancy, and that was it. I had no intention of making this a full-time, or not a full-time, a long-term thing. Well, something happened and I fell in love with sewing. This is really my first real hobby as an adult, and it's just something that I really gravitated to. I love the creativity. It really challenged me, and it was a great thing to have after becoming a mom, because I think it's just important for women to have something for ourselves. You know, we are partners, we're mothers, we are sisters, daughters, friends, employees. We wear a whole bunch of hats, and most times for most women, we always put ourselves last. Well, sewing was that way for me to keep a piece of myself just during this daily life, you know. So when I sew, when I'm in my sewing room and I'm at my sewing machines, this is just my time where I sew. So that's how I got started sewing, and that's what it turned into. I would say my proudest make was a self-drafted dress that I made out of this beautiful pink lace kind of knit overlay type of fabric from Mood. That was one of my first pieces where I completely drafted it from scratch. So I did not use a pattern. I created my own blocks for my bodice and for my skirt, and then I modified those blocks to create that pattern. And it just felt really, really good to do that. I think that's one of my proudest makes. My most disastrous make was probably my very first project. It was an easy pencil skirt, and it was the worst thing I have ever done. I did not understand what a selvage was. I didn't understand what grain was. I didn't know which way to fold the fabric. I literally just laid the fabric on the floor, marked out some measurements according to the tutorial, cut it out. Took about an hour and a half to thread my sewing machine, because for some reason I thought that the sewing machine was going to come threaded. I don't know why I thought that, but it took me an hour and a half. After I had already cut out the fabric, then I looked up and realized I can't sew anything. Spent an hour and a half threading the machine, finally sewed a semi-straight stitch, only to put the skirt on and realize that it did not stretch the right way. I did not cut it properly, and that was like literally a full waste of an evening, and I almost gave up then. That was my first try, but I said, well, let me try again, and it went a lot better. And then with each project things got better, and then I just stuck it out. So here I am. I shop at several stores, mostly online, and I do shop at Joann's if I'm in a push for something, but I think my favorite fabric store is going to be Gorgeous Fabrics. Their fabrics are gorgeous. But the quality is amazing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't photograph their fabrics very well, because when you get the box and you look at those fabrics and you're just like, oh my God, these are beautiful. Like the quality of the fabric is absolutely amazing. Another place that was pleasantly surprising for me was Fabric Mart. And I did not shop at Fabric Mart for a long time because the name turned me off. I know that sounds so bad, but when I think Fabric Mart, I think Walmart. And so I associate that quality, no shade to Walmart, to the fabric. And then the prices were really low, so I just had this kind of perceived value of the type of quality that these fabrics would be, and it was kind of like, this is kind of too good to be true, so I'm just going to stay away because I'm really kind of picky about my fabrics. So I actually ordered from them a while back, and I got my fabric, and I was like, oh, this is cute, you know, I could do this. So I like shopping with them as well. I also like Michael Levine's, or their website is lowpricefabric.com. But out of all of them, if I had to pick one place to shop forever and ever and ever, it would be Gorgeous Fabrics. What I can recall off the top of my head is I have used Vogue 9075 3 times. And I've made a jumpsuit using the bottom half of that pattern. All 3 times I used the pants part of that pattern. I do not like the top of that pattern. So I have used that pattern 3 times. I've made 2 pairs of pants, and I have made a jumpsuit using a portion of that pattern. So I think that's probably the only pattern that I have made that many times. But yeah, generally I don't use a pattern over and over and over again unless I do a lot of modification to it, so it really doesn't even look the same. Fitting adjustments. I don't like doing fitting adjustments. When I look at a design and I realize that I have to make a lot of adjustments to it, I might not even make it. Like, I might buy the pattern and look at it and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with this right now. And then I'll set it aside, and then it'll be like a year later before I pull it out. So I don't like doing that. I am just ready to cut out my fabric and start sewing. That's what I want to do. But if you don't take the time to do fitting adjustments, you might as well not even bother doing it. So I'd say, yeah, that's my least favorite part. My favorite sewing task is hemming, because I know I'm almost done. So yeah, that's my favorite task. I'm ready to be done. I'm a very impatient person by nature. When I want something, I usually want it yesterday. So it's very challenging for me to sometimes just enjoy the journey of something, even though that's funny, because that's actually the thing that I love most about sewing, is just kind of being in this space, like I said before, and just enjoying this process. But when I'm ready to finish something, I'm ready to finish. So I get really excited when it is time to hem, because that means I'm almost done. I'm just going to interpret what I think this question means, but when I'm sewing, my entertainment is usually my television. I usually have Netflix on, and 9 times out of 10 I am watching that sitcom The Office. I have watched that show from beginning to end. I have pretty much all the episodes memorized. I have watched the beginning to end and then started all over again. I just love that show, and it's actually more background noise for me now, because if I watch something that I haven't seen yet, then my brain is not focused on what I'm doing with the sewing. So I'm watching Netflix, like I said. I'll have The Office in the background, or I'll listen to a podcast on my phone or an audiobook. I prefer printed patterns. I don't mind PDFs if they are not a million pages. I have seen printed PDF patterns that are like 60 pages, and I'm like, damn, y'all about to clean out my printer at home. So for that reason, I don't prefer PDFs, and I'd rather just pay a little extra to get the printed pattern. So yeah, print it. Number 11, what sewing machine do you use? This is probably one of my most frequently asked questions. I answer this question every single day, so I have got to do a video sewing tour for you guys. But I have done a sewing tour where I explained my cutting table, this green mat that people ask me about every single video, my dress forms, bookcases, my sewing machines. I have done all of this. It's on my blog. I'll put the link in the description box where you can see all of that information. But I get asked this question all the time, so I'm happy to answer it in this video. My main sewing machine is a Baby Lock Tempo, and my main serger is a Baby Lock Imagine serger. And I started out with a Brothers CS 6000i sewing machine and a Brother 1034D serger. Those are my starter machines. They're kind of my backups right now. But yeah, my main machines are my Baby Locks. Yes. I don't know if this is a hobby, but I love spending time with my family. I could literally not ever leave my house. I do like to cook. I like to try new recipes. I play 3 instruments. I play the piano, the trumpet, and the flute. And I love hair. Yeah, if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I change my hair all the time. Like, I tell people, if once you meet me and you see me one place and I look one way, and then you see me a week later and I look completely different, don't worry about it. Don't get attached to my hair because I change it all the time. I love wigs, weaves, braids. I will cut my hair in a heartbeat. It's no thing to me. It's just an accessory. I used to be really heavy on the hair forums back in 2008, 2009, something around there. Maybe a little earlier, but around there. And I had a hair blog a while back, so I just really enjoy kind of a little girly stuff. I'm not too heavy into makeup, but I still like to watch those videos and just like fantasize about doing that. But even though I have zero interest of doing that in real life, because I'd rather sleep an extra 10 minutes than to put on makeup. So yeah, those are my other interests. And there are a handful of TV shows that I like. I really rarely catch them live, but when I do get some downtime, I do like to watch The Walking Dead. Love. Some own shows, Queen Sugar, Greenleaf. I love my Love and Hip Hop Trash. Watch it, love it. Housewives of Atlanta. It's some other stuff I watch. Empire. It's some other show. How to Get Away with Murder. I fell off a Scandal a couple seasons ago. But yeah, those are my hobbies when I have time for them. Like, sewing is my main thing, so that's it. So I really enjoy doing this. I hope that you have enjoyed this as well. And now I am going to tag some other seamstresses that I know and love and follow. I'm tagging Taylor from Sew Sin City. I'm tagging T from Maggie Elaine. I am tagging JeTua from Robert's Wife Collection. I'm tagging Erica Bunker. And I'm tagging Vatsla of Fashion Behind the Scenes. So I can't wait to see your videos or your blog posts, ladies. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.